All right, let's get to some football because there were some more spring games. We mentioned Nebraska, some of the others earlier this week that had big spring games, and one of them was of course Colorado, Coach Prime, and the revolving door, the subway turnstile that is the Buffaloes roster. And Coach Prime decided to, of course, address a few of the issues here. As always, two things he had said. He told the Colorado fans that he thinks the Buffaloes can go win a bowl game this year. We're going to get it, he said. Now, I think this would be an absolutely reasonable goal. And you take over the worst major college football program in the country, or worst performing, and 2 years later win the Pop-Tart Bowl, hey, you're doing pretty good. The problem is he previously set expectations at, did he ever say he'd win a national title, playoffs, like everything, right? So now it's a little more reasonable, which I think would have helped out. Secondly, he said that he is not planning on leaving Colorado when his sons, Shador obviously is going to be expected to be a high draft pick next year in the NFL draft, quarterback, and Shiloh, the safety, and we don't know his future, conclude their eligibility. His quote, "I don't follow my kids. I pave roads for my kids. I build generational wealth for my kids. I lead my kids. I don't follow my kids. So I do not plan on following my kids to the NFL. I love everything about this part of the country and the fan base that we have here. I just want to really bless you with a tremendously successful team. I really do. That's my heart." Those are the messages Coach Prime wanted to put through to he ain't going anywhere, and they can win a bowl game. And Pat, what do you think?
He also had this great line about enjoying Colorado. He says, "I don't fly fish, but I sometimes do look fly when I fish." He is a bass fisherman.
And Coach, he wants to open a snowmobile line. Coach Prime's snowmobile, snow machine, depends where you live, what they called.
Yeah.
So that thing would probably be pretty badass. Like snowmobiles are badass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
his
would be the baddest ass, I would think.
Coach Prime, Colorado Buffalo snowmobile. That's, yeah.
Yeah, I could see those selling in the high country for sure. No, look, I mean, he came out and addressed a few of the speculations there that certainly have percolated about his program, because his recruiting strategy, which has just kind of been to pull things together via the portal short term year to year, does not lend itself to long-term program building. And so I think it's a natural question to ask, and we've asked it on the pod. Is he just in this for as long as his kids are in it? So we'll see if he backs up what he said there, that he wants to continue to be the coach of the Buffaloes for a long time. Getting to a bowl game would be a very good accomplishment. They could have gotten there last year. They gave away a couple of games, ended up 4-8. They could have gotten to 6-6. They didn't. So next step would be bowl game. Now that is, he's also kind of painted himself as the ultimate disruptor of the status quo, and he was going to maybe outsmart everybody, and the paradigm shift would be so dramatic and so fast that they would be competing for national championships in short order. They're not on that flight plan right now. We will see if they can get there. But as with everything with Coach Prime, there are huge reactions, overreactions, people that love him, people that hate him, and are taking everything as either a sign of the apocalypse or a sign that he is being oppressed by unfair critics. And I do think the criticism that was out there of the attendance for the spring game was ridiculous. It was down from 47,000 to 28,000. 28,000, still by far the second highest spring attendance Colorado's ever had. People never went to the spring game. Right. Yeah, these were not free tickets. These were tickets you had to buy. So the idea that that this is some
and it
sort
rained and all that. Yeah.
yeah. Of course, I mean it snowed for his first game too.
Yeah.
But I thought people again are overreacting to something that might not be indicative of much of anything.
Coach Prime has been on fire this morning on Twitter. Yes, you guys should go check that out. He has added and tweeted, it looks like players, some of them criticizing his sons, I think, in their play. So it's been interesting. He tweeted this morning. He's basically got all the time in the world, to go back and forth with people on Twitter, and boy, he's going back. So it's been interesting to follow. Speak of the devil there as we're talking about him. He's firing off
Goodness.
tweets to Have you found them, Pat?
Now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have. Yeah. This is interesting.
He's going back and forth. So I think it's probably all triggered from and I haven't read it yet, but the Max Olson piece at The Athletic kind of documented all the transfers that he pushed out last year and where they are, and had some interesting quotes in there. Some people might say some damning quotes about Deion Sanders and how he handled some of the exodus. But man, yeah, he's on fire today on the Twitter machine.
Yeah, they're definitely going after Jaheim Ward, who is at Austin P. They're after him. I don't know why. All right, this is it. There, nothing like fight. That's good. I don't have time to visit a high school to recruit, but I definitely have time to fight people on Twitter.
Yeah.
Nothing like getting lit up by Coach Prime.
Fighting with somebody about who's criticizing his son. Oh boy.
Little dispute here. Cormani McClain, of course, the great top 5 recruit they signed in the class of 2023, never worked out at Colorado. He left. He's trying to get people. He's not committed as far as I know. 24/7 was reporting that there's some apprehension. Some schools are not pursuing him. McClain said last week, some people just got to take a step back from some things. Certain people, I feel like I don't want to play for clicks. I actually want to be involved with a great leading program that's going to develop players. I'm just ready to bring the old version of me out, change the narrative everyone's thinking on my name, be part of a real and great program that's going to impact me, so on. So he's looking for a school. Doesn't obviously mention Coach Prime there, but I think we can read through that. Not mentioning, and this was not in response to Cormani McClain, but Shador, after the thing, he said, of all the people leaving the portal, he said, it's definitely a lot of highs and lows, but I feel like we got all the negative energy out of the building. So I don't know. It is a soap opera. Don't take a shot at Shador, though. Papa Bear will come after you, apparently.
That's right. On Twitter.
Yep. Good job. Keep it up, Prime. Keep it up. One guy who left, Dylan Edwards, who was star of their TCU game right off the bat. He was a big recruit that Prime got. He flipped from Notre Dame. He was originally, I think, committed to K-State and then went to Notre Dame. And then before he enrolled, he flipped his recruitment and signed with Colorado. And it was really a kind of thing that made a lot of the hype on Colorado last year to be a big thing. It was like, man, Prime is just walking in and flipping recruits. Give him some time to work recruiting, and he's going to get a bunch of them. I don't know when the last time Colorado took a Notre Dame running back, let alone one who was pretty good. Behind perhaps the worst offensive line in major college football, he had 321 yards. He also caught 36 passes for 300. Very dynamic player. He left in somewhat of a surprise. Now they brought in other guys. And committed to Kansas State. Now, he is originally from Derby, Kansas, just outside of Wichita. And regardless of what happened or didn't happen at Colorado State, this is a next step in what I am super intrigued about this Kansas State team next year. Because Dylan Edwards was just a true freshman, so he's got some years. They already have DJ Giddens, who rushed for 1,226 yards and 10 TDs and also caught a ton of passes out of the backfield. And he'll be the number one carrier. Now you're adding the depth. He's from Wichita. Avery Johnson, their quarterback, played tremendous in the Pop-Tart Bowl, and that's where legends are made. If you can do it in the big stage of the Pop-Tart Bowl, I don't think a regular season would matter. He was a true freshman from the Wichita area, and I think he's really promising and exciting. Threw 2 TDs, ran for 71 yards. K-State, Chris Kleiman, they won 8, 10, and 9 games the last couple years, including aforementioned Pop-Tart victory. Pat, Wildcats have always kind of punched above their weight or often punched above. This is like a dynamic team.
Sure is. And it's funny. I mean, talk about a coach who's probably the anti-DEION. It would be Chris Kleiman, like as understated, just kind of a low-key dude who shows up and does the job. And he's put together a good team here. That's, as you mentioned, they've been very good the last 3 years. They've been competitive. They won a Big 12 championship. And now, there's a lot that they're putting, I think, together here that could make them Big 12 favorites, possibly. I'd say them or Utah probably going into this next season. And one thing, now Avery Johnson, we'll see if he can throw. Got to be able to throw the ball some. And their offense has at times gotten a little bit one-dimensional, regardless of who was the quarterback. But if they can stay diversified enough and be able to throw, then they're going to score points, and he's always going to have a solid defense. And I think K-State's a program on the rise that could be perfect for a 12-team playoff. Look out. And what if they host a playoff game in Manhattan, Kansas? Wow.
Manhattan, Kansas playoff game in mid-December. All right.
Yeah. Get your hotel rooms in Aggieville now.
Dream come true. Little Apple. Anyway, they lost Will Howard to Ohio State, but I don't think this is all they got. So I'm excited for this K-State upcoming season. All right.